Hey guys, it's Uncle Doug. Got a little difference since the last video. I figure meeting with landlords and banks and zoning and whatever, maybe I'd get a little less Grizzly Adams or whatever for them. So God is so good. He's so good. Oh gosh. Where do I start? Something like a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we put out the video about the farm. We have received somewhere around $57,000 in pledges. A lot of folks already sent money in. Some is on the way. God is really, really good. Let me tell you where we are. We were looking at a piece of land. It was 100 acres. They wanted $660,000. We thought, okay, maybe we can raise 15%. They'll owner finance it. Let's see what happens. 15% of 66, you're about 100. But before I do that, I've got to go do all of my due diligence and see if it's even possible to do what we want to do out on that piece of land, because it's in city limits. And this is uptight, white bread liberty. God bless them, the folks in zoning, real agreeable, very professional, very civil. Say, okay, we're going to need to change the zoning from single-family agricultural to multifamily residential. I said, no, we're a church. A church can manifest however a church wants to manifest, and we are not going to... I could build a sanctuary for 5,000 people with a giant parking lot on that land, and that's a permitted use. But as soon as I house people on that land, you want to zone it multifamily. Yeah. I could snarl up traffic every Sunday morning. I could have... That's fine. But if we want to live together, I got to... Okay. We fought it on a First Amendment constitutional thing. Maybe could have won, but we still would have to do stormwater surveys, traffic studies, a survey of the complete piece of property, which could have $5,000 by itself. We have to have engineering studies. We have to have stormwater studies. We have to have sewer lines drawn up. We have to have a complete site plan, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 drawn up. We have to have it all signed off by architects. We have to have a landscaping study to show how for every tree we're cutting down, we're planting two, what we're planting, where we're planting, and signed off by a professional. Whoo! It starts. So I go talk to some engineers. Hey, here's what I want to do. Real cheap buildings, no problem. What is this going to take? They said, well, let me call the city and see if we can fast track this. They call me back. Dude, they want everything. Talk to another engineer. I said, okay, well, we just missed the deadline to submit this for zoning approval. Then it would go to a public hearing. Then the neighbors would all be notified within 200 feet, and they would come to a hearing. And if a certain percentage of them disagrees with it and doesn't want us there, then a supermajority of the 8-member council, 5 out of 8, has to vote to overrule what those people want. And if 2 of them are homesick that day, doesn't matter. You need 5 votes out of 6, or however many. Oh, so the neighbors, the potentially Christ-hating, demonized neighbors, get to vote even after we spend $45,000 in surveys and engineering studies and whatever. And if they say no and the council doesn't go along with it, then we're out. Right. And it could take what? 6 months, 8 months, a year? Right. Whoo! Yeah, that ain't going to fly. Now, I still believe God wants us to have that property. And we prayed and we claimed it. And, I'm still believing there's going to be lots of farms. And God's going to give us lots of liberty. Not me personally, but then it's going to be used for the gospel. I don't care who lives there. I don't care whose name it's in. I don't care whatever, just so long as it's used for the gospel. There was another piece of property I'd known about for about 6 months that had been for sale that was outside of the Liberty School District, just barely. And every time I'd ask the Lord, he said, no, I want you to stay inside Liberty. But then he gave us a word a couple weeks ago that included something about blow the trumpet in Zion and liberty must go forth. Okay, I'm thinking, we've got to preach liberty. We got to free the captives. We got to whatever. And after the second architect, after the city meetings, I'm like, I feel an urgency to do this. I feel like it's got to go fast. Nothing is going fast about this except the money showing up. But it's not enough. So if they would even accept our offer, and you got to understand, I'm going to go to these people, which are a bunch of heirs of the grandpa or whoever that died and left this property that's been abandoned for 20 years. And they owe back taxes on it, like $6,000. Okay, I can't even request a rezoning until they pay the back taxes. So I'm going to go to these owners of this land that have had it on the market for a few months and say, okay, I want to give you 15%. I want you to owner finance it. I want a 8 to 12 month contingency to see if I can get it rezoned. And I want you to pay the $6,000 of back taxes before I put in the application. Nobody's going to do that. They're going to wait for some buyer that wants a single family farm on 100 beautiful acres that's just going to come and write them a check for $500,000. I'm going to have to give them their asking price. I'm going to have to bribe them every way I can. I'm going to have to offer to pay the taxes out of the deal. I'm going to all kinds of stuff. And then bet God's money, your money, on the neighbors not freaking out. And if you've been around me very long, you know people freak out. Because I prayed. And I want them to just flare up, and they do. Anyway. So, sitting in the car, talking to Cindy, frustrated, disillusioned, what do we do? I want to go look at that other property. It's got a cave already. As big as the cave, the entire cave, where we rent a little piece of. And the mortgage on the land would be less than we're paying for rent at the cave. And instead of 16,000 square feet, we would have 800,000 square feet and 70 acres above ground for $350,000 instead of $660,000. And we're still at almost 100 acres if you figure the top and the bottom. But I'd never got permission to go look at it because it was outside of the Liberty School District and the zone that we kind of had claimed and whatever. So I'm like, Lord, I think Liberty has dusted their feet off. They're not opening any doors. I've been here feeding, clothing, caring for their neighbors, the kids they threw out and wouldn't care for 10 years. And they're not making any concession, not bending in the slightest. I feel like I'm not being received. What do we do? Because I don't want to be the church of someplace else. We're the Church of Liberty. And Liberty has been the focus all along. He says, go, make the call, go look. If it's not me, I'll shut it down. Okay. I mean, that's the insurance prayer I pray. Lord, if this is me, if this is my flesh, if I'm thinking wrong, just block it. Just kill it. And he does. He's faithful to slam doors shut. When you're willing to accept whatever he wants and willing to do that, the desire of my heart is his perfect will, not permissive will. And I'm like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to go there because it's less fight, less hassle, less headache, less meetings with government officials than this one is. But this is your perfect will, and this is permissive will. But I'm not willing to fight that hard, so I'm going to go chase permissive will because it looks easier. I don't want that. I want your perfect will. And I'm willing to accept whatever. So slam this one down and funnel me into this one if that's what you want, and I'll take however long, and we'll fight it out. And if we're going to be in the townhouses another year while this goes through, and we lose the money and we whatever, it's all part of the plan. Fine, I'm willing, but don't let me go that way. I forget which was which. Anyway, because I'm not willing to fight the hard fight. He says, go look at it. If it's not me, I'll slam the door shut. Okay. Call the guy. We go out and look at the land. It's amazing. Beautiful, hilly, rocky, beautiful side scenery, beautiful places to go sit and pray. It looks like it's got a couple of mineral springs on it. Just some amazing stuff. I don't want to talk too much about it because there's still ways Satan can get in this. And anyway, so it looks like the way this is going to go is that without bank closings, without delays, without public hearings, we could have keys to the place next week. I mean, it could go that fast. And I suggested some creative ways to get this done. The owner's like, I like that. That sounds great to me. Let's see if we can do that. I'll talk to my lawyer, and I'll meet you Monday. So today's Friday. Now, stuff has been pouring in. A Craigslist ad. Lady had some styrofoam 3-foot little seedling planter trays, like eggshell looking things. On Craigslist, free, just come get them. I call her. I said, how many you got? She said, I got a barn full. I said, I'll take them all. We're just waiting until it dries up a little bit so I can get my big truck out there and pick up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of seedling trays. I've got a couple of trucks, $1,000. My ponytail's unraveling back here. Please ignore it. A guy said this business is getting rid of a couple of trucks. I got them for $1,000 for 2 vans. One of them a KUV, Knapheide utility vehicle with toolboxes all over an E350 van. Okay, they're $60,000 brand new. This is a 2004, 10-year-old, nice condition, all the maintenance, whatever, $500. I put it on Craigslist. A guy trades me 2 F-150 pickups. One of them really nice, both running good. The work truck with toolboxes goes to one of the guys here that needs it. I'm driving the other one for the moment, but it's about $4,000. So one of the vans we sold to one of the guys here for $1,000. The other van we flipped for about $4,500 in other vehicles. So my $1,000 turns into $5,500. The guy I sold the KUV to knows that he got a good deal, but he doesn't have any other cash, and it would really help with his plumbing business and whatever. And I'm like, well, I'd kind of like the 2 trucks and $1,000. He's like, I don't have it, but I got this guy wants me to take down this greenhouse, and I'm going to have a whole bunch of aluminum and stuff out of the greenhouse, and then I could pay you out of that if this comes through. I said, dude, if you're getting a greenhouse, I got trucks, I got help, I got whatever. We can help take it down. And then we get a piece of the greenhouse. We'll help you scrap the rest of it. And great. He's like, great. Okay. I said, how big's the greenhouse? He says, 100 foot by 400 foot. Whoo. Okay, yeah, you're going to need help with that. That's not a one-man job. So we went out and looked at it this morning. Okay. Yesterday we went and saw the land, talked to the owner. The day before I talked to zoning, everything looks like green lights. There's a way to get us on the land because it's zoned C3 commercial, which pretty much allows whatever we want to do without a hearing. I mean, I could build an amusement park on the thing. Campgrounds, RV parks, retail store, grocery store, greenhouse retail operations, I mean, church, sanctuary, whatever, no problem. Okay, so all of a sudden, on this piece of land, no hearing with the neighbors, no this, no that. We just got to submit architectural drawings, the regular stuff to get a building permit. It looks like so far. So then I meet with the guy. He's all green lights. Then this morning I go look at the greenhouse. Oh, then yesterday, Dorothy and Tyler have a baby. William Thatcher Douglas Hale, named after me. Okay, I'm the second middle name, but still, it's, you know, you'd think cult leaders would have lots of babies named after them, but this is the one and only that any time so far anybody has been willing to name a kid after me. But anyway, so William Thatcher Douglas Hale was born yesterday, and he's as sweet as he can be. If you get on my Facebook, you can see her pictures. So then this morning I go look at this greenhouse. It is, I'll put some pictures maybe in here before I publish it. It is a triple-peaked, hard-shell commercial greenhouse, 80 feet wide, and basically we're going to get a 100-foot stretch of it and then help him scrap the other 300 feet. Okay, you can put the chickens, the goats, the whatever off at one end, do your aquaponics, tilapia, grow whatever. I mean, I'm talking, we get the fans, we get the doors, we get the vent opening things, and anything else in the greenhouse that was just abandoned like 10 years ago that isn't recyclable. We get all the glass, the Lexan double wall panels from the whole thing. So some of them that are cracked or faded, we can take side panels and replace them with. We get, there's drip hose in these rows, in these little troughs that run the entire length of the thing. Okay, and it circles on one side and back the other. So there's like 12 of these troughs, 400 feet long, with a hose coming down and back. So you're talking like 10,000 feet of drip hose, big plastic barrels, some stuff that's still in there growing like grapevines that we can transplant if we want, that are still growing. There's some rose bushes still growing that we can transplant. A lot of weeds growing up out of the whole thing. They got to go in with chainsaws just to clear everything that's growing in there that shouldn't be, so they can get ladders in there and the guys can start taking it all down. It's awesome. I mean, this is so God-sized. It would cost $100,000 if I called somebody and said, "Come build me an 80-foot by 100-foot greenhouse." You know, we're gonna have to lay some footers. We're gonna have to attach stuff somehow, whatever. But oh my gosh, this thing is monstrous. I mean, anyway, it's almost a quarter of an acre inside the greenhouse. It's bigger than the building that I was talking about building as a multi-purpose sanctuary / bunkhouse / whatever building. And we're working on ways, because there's some vents from the cave where the 55-degree air comes up, where we can heat and cool with the air, the hot air coming out of the greenhouse in the winter, or the cold air coming out of the cave in the summer. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Anyway, God is real good. God is real good. The short of this is, we still need your help. This is going to require much less money to get into than the other one. But we're still going to have to pave a road. We're going to have to build a footer. We're going to have to navigate some sewer waste issues with the county. We're still going to have to do a site survey. There's still other stuff that needs to be done. I'm hoping to give him the bare minimum of the cash necessary to get this done, and do a 3 or 4 year balloon where we'll refinance it then or have it paid off by then, and he's just going to hold the paper for a little while. And then we can take all the extra money, and we got to have a brush hog. We got to have a tractor to just clear the land where everything's going to go. We're going to have to get in there and or rent a bulldozer or something. I got a guy, maybe he'll loan me one. We're working on all that. Everything is getting greased down so beautifully that I'm just expecting like a bulldozer is going to just show up at any moment. You know, I mean, it's that anointed. I've never seen anything move this fast. I mean, I've got 10 years of God paying my bills at the last minute. Okay, but what he is building here, oh my gosh. I mean, there's campgrounds. There's room for us to expand a bunch. There's room for tons of livestock. There's room for tons of gardens. There's room for all kinds of stuff on this land. There's water sources on the land. There's, you know, storage in the caves. There's emergency, I don't know what. I mean, this is an amazing thing. And everything is just clicking faster than I can possibly imagine. So I don't know who's going to come and help. I don't know how we're going to get it done. We got 20, you know, we got I don't know, 50 people, of whom 20, 25 are able-bodied and not having to watch the kids. And, you know, it's going to be all that 3, 4 people can do just to put the greenhouse back together, you know, on that piece of land in a month, almost. We need youth groups. We need teams of people to come out and help get this done, and come out and stay and walk the trails and worship together at night and around a fire. And I mean, it's going to be just really awesome, really awesome. I mean, we're planning for RV hookups for people to come, and I don't even. It's going to be, once we get everything locked down, I'll show you site plans and pictures of the land, and you know. It's just little grottos of little hidden places. It's going to take us a year just to explore the property and find it. I mean, it's a half a mile down one property line. In the country, rolling hills, beautiful, lots of, it's just amazing. And it's never been farmed before, so where we clear land and farm, we can say we can be organic because nobody's ever sprayed pesticides there before. I mean, okay, chemtrails, but, you know. Anyway, we got a lot of plans, a lot of things we'd like to do. I feel like God's calling us to do. We're pretty much out of the metal scrap business. As we transition into this, the Lord just sort of started slamming doors shut. I need shipping containers, preferably free. If you know anybody's got some, can get them here. I need 40-foot, 20-foot shipping containers, whatever I can get. If you pledged money and you haven't sent it already, please do right away. Because this coming week, we're going to have to start writing checks. It's going that fast. And if you've been thinking about it and you're waiting to see, I'm telling you, God is all over this. It is so beautiful. And if you got a feeling to send something, $10 or 100,000 or whatever you can afford to be a part of this and to help build this, it's here for everybody. This is not my thing. I'm going to be living in a whatever next to everybody else. This is a refuge. This is an amazing. You know, take your vacations and come here and walk around in the trees and listen to God and have people pray for you and be around brethren. You know, people are going to come from all over. You know, we're zoned to have an amusement park. I mean, that's an authorized use in the zoning district we're in. You know, we can have zip lines. We can do all kinds of stuff. And it perfectly, anyway. I'm pretty sure they're going to talk me into a zip line somewhere. And the property borders on a state park with a lake on one side and state park and baseball fields on the other. It's from the side of the property. We're on a bluff, right on our property line, looking down into this lake. It's really beautiful. And we want you to come, and we want you to see it. We want you to get prayer, and we want you to be a part of this thing that God is doing. Hopefully by next week, we get this nailed down. We can have keys. We can start moving out of the cave, moving everything here. Just the rent we're paying at the cave now is enough to pay the mortgage on this. After we do the down payment, and then we can start moving people out here as we get something residential established that the county has approved, getting out of the townhouses, saving that money, and start, it's just going to be awesome. Awesome. I'm so humbled by you that hear God say, hey, this is me, sow a seed into this, by me knowing I couldn't do this. I couldn't have done this. I did not finagle this. This is him throwing doors wide open. And I'm like, okay, we're going to build these little cabins. And then somebody says, hey, so-and-so's got a semi-trailer full of doors and windows. He wants to just dump. Okay. And so-and-so's got seed trays. And so-and-so's got this and whatever. And you can have all these plastic panels. Well, we can put them as sun skylights in other buildings, or build smaller greenhouses next to the houses, or what, and we got room to put it and store it all until it's time. There must be 10,000 railroad ties in the cave. It was a shooting range, police tactical training thing. There's a 75,000 watt World War II diesel generator. It would run like half the upper part of the town. It's a backup generator. Would run everything on the property. We want to be solar. We want to be as off the grid as we want, but we can run biodiesel in this generator and power everything forever off of this and sell utilities back to the power company. Huge. 10 foot by 6 foot by 5 foot deep World War II U.S. Air Force generator that runs. There's industrial cook stoves. It had a snack bar. There was a haunted house in there. There's finished areas. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. And I want to go into a lot more detail, and I will. I've already probably said more than necessary, but God is so good. God is so good. Thanks for listening. Thank you all so much. I look forward to seeing you, watching you chase the chickens around barefoot or whatever the Lord leads. And I look forward to the day we're all part of the farm of the New Jerusalem. And we can all chase chickens together. Or whatever God's got that we can produce for him. There's something on the table when we go to the feast of the Lamb. There's something growing. Something that's cultivated and cared for and put on the table for everybody to enjoy. I kind of like the idea of being a farmer. Got some roots in my family. And we've been feeding a lot of people for a long time off of produce from other places. Maybe we'll start feeding them ours. See how God blesses it. I hope that he'll do whatever he did in Guatemala. I'll link to that video and see what happens. I know the Lord told me that when revival's in full swing and the Holy Spirit's rocking and rolling here, plant anything and it'll grow. I don't know if that means even in Missouri weather we can grow bananas, or he means he'll give us a greenhouse big enough that we can grow coffee beans and bananas and tomatoes year round. But he's looking like he's true to exactly what he told me. Thanks for praying for us. Thanks for your advice. People coming forward with farms saying, hey, can I help? Can I give advice? Can I whatever? I appreciate all of that. We're going to need every bit of it all. We have some folks here that know what they're doing, and a lot of folks that have no clue. They just are going to listen to God and do whatever needs doing. And I'm tasked with trying to provide vision and direction and navigate city zoning rules with all of this stuff. Anyway, God bless you all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for praying for us. I want to keep you updated. This is an amazing story, an amazing thing that God is doing, and I'm so honored and humbled and blessed to just ride along with what He's doing here. Anyway, in the name of Jesus, amen.